What it do, what the business is, people. It's your boy That Way with Jack Travis to be precise, man. You know how we doing, Back in this thing again, you understand? Talking about beef out here in the world. What going on with these folk, man? What going on with y'all? My bad. I was uncordial. You know what I'm saying? I was uncourteous to my people, man. How y'all doing out there? You dig what I'm saying? I hope y'all doing better than some of these celebrities out here in the world, because these boys got beef. These boys got problems. We got messy folks out here. Boy, that fame do something to you, man. When you get to looking on your videos and them motherfuckers got hundreds of thousands of clicks, you happen to do a video or interview that gets 50, 60 million clicks, man, a person can't stop you from just saying what you want to say. You the one now. You can just talk anything. You can say anything. You can take a stance on anything because you think the world wants to know. The world is listening. That leads me into our topic of today. Mr. Shannon Sharpe and Mr. Shaq. These are. You dig what I'm saying? Now, I got tremendous respect for both of these individuals. But I have to choose a side in this here beef that has approached us, man. Cat Williams said this is the year for it. You dig what I'm saying? So, man, look here, bro. We've got a beef between Shaq and Shannon, man. All around some comments that Shaq had about Nikola Jokic and his winning of the MVP for the third time straight. Now, I won't spoil any of the content. We got a couple of clips to get into. And I'll come back and again, no opine. Let me stop using opine because that word came from Stephen A. And I'm going to get on his ass soon. I got the episode I'm baking up for him because he turned into a chud out here. So let me stop saying opine. I'm going to come back and offer my enlightened opinion, man. So I define it. You dig what I'm saying? So let's get into a couple of these clips, man. This is just going to show what Shaq had to say originally. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to go from there.
I don't like to rain on people's parade, but I'm not happy with this one. Congratulations to Joker. You are the best big man in the league, but based on everybody's criteria, my criteria, stat stuffer, you guys' criteria, number one seed, which team has a better record, I felt Shai Alexander deserved it because I've been number two a lot. When I played my ass off, number two. So the fact that he has to start all over, hopefully he uses this to motivate him to win a championship. But I thought, and again, no disrespect to the Joker, best big man in the league by far. You could have went this way, but I thought Shai Alexander, one of only a few players that had 30 points 50 times, stat stuffer. Great season. His team is number one. Nobody expected him to be number one. I thought Shai Alexander was going to win it by far. But congratulations to Joker. I'm happy for him. Third-time MVP. You really can't be mad at this vote. But the fact that he has to start all over next year and win it over again. Because, again, I felt I was robbed 2 or 3 times. Right? And I played my ass off. Stat stuffer, won championships those years. But, again, no disrespect to Joker, but me personally, I would have given it to Shaq. President of the Big Man Alliance, you are the Vice President of the Big Man Alliance. I love you, the best player in the league. I want to congratulate you, but I want you to hear from me first. I thought the SGA should have been the MVP. That's no disrespect to you, but congratulations. And what do you guys have to do to get back on track versus Minnesota?
Thank you, Shaq. We don't judge people here, so that's fine. It's your opinion. I'm joking.
All right, so in those 2 clips, you saw that Shaq gave his opinion on why he thought Shai Alexander should have won the MVP. He also took that argument straight to Nikola Jokic himself. You dig what I'm saying? He ain't the type of guy throwing rocks and hiding his hands. And you say what you will when comparing the numbers. They ended up having a better record, but it was only about 1 game at the end, like the play-in game or what have you. Shai Alexander was one of the few players to have 30 points in 50 games. He's got nice stats all the way down the board, and of course everyone knows that Jokic does too. This is his 3rd straight. I thought that may have been a bit excessive. I could see someone taking umbrage with that. And because there's been an argument in the NBA about the European influence and who are the best players in the league right now. And So, you know, a lot of the guys that are tried and true NBAers, you know what I'm saying, coming from a certain demographic, they feel as though, you know, the image of the NBA is looking crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? That whole GOAT debate that doesn't really involve any of the European players. They are looking to be like the best players here thus far, or here lately, I should say. You know, people like Giannis and Jokic. You got Luka Doncic. What's y'all opinion on Luka, man? Luka hoops, but for some reason, hey, be quiet. For some reason, I just can't. I don't know. For some reason, I just can't vibe with it. But again, man, I think that may be somewhere inside of that argument. So that's why he may have felt like it was time for somebody else to get that award, and that he felt like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was the one the most deserving of it. He's going by his criteria, most valuable to his team. Now, no one expected Oklahoma City Thunder to be the number 1 seed. So, I would, you know, being that Jokic won 2 straight, I would have thought the NBA would have showed OKC and shot some love by giving him that award just go around. But at any rate, whatever went down, Jokic won it for his 3rd straight. Shaq had some comments, said it to Jokic, but he also said that he was the best player in the NBA, best big man in the NBA. He gave him all the accolades. He just said that he thought this year that award should have went to Shaq. Well, of course, Mr. Gossip Box, well, I'm sad to inform everyone, but that's beginning to be his new name. Of course, he had an opinion on Nightcap, and I fought with Ocho on Nightcap, but Ocho doesn't really ever bring too much value to the conversation, man. But I see a lot of shows out here, and I'm like the co-host is just like there for decoration. But at any rate, let's get into what Shannon Sharpe had to say about Shaq's comments.
He might not ever admit this, but Shaq see these guys winning these MVPs and a little envious. Because, and I don't care, look, I understand that Shaq got 4 titles and he has 3 finals MVPs, but Shaq know deep down, we should be having a discussion. For GOAT, Shaq name is never brought up in the discussion. Now, we bring his name up with big mans, with Will, Russell, and Kareem, and rightfully so. But we're never going to see another guy Shaq's size with his athleticism that was as dominant as him.
Yeah.
And he robbed himself because he didn't take it serious enough. Did he take it serious? Not nearly as serious as he should have. Shaq should have 5 MVPs. Shaq should have 7 titles. And I think he sees a guy like Nikola Jokic that's not as dominant as him, and he gets 3 and 4 years.
Yeah.
And people are talking about him. And they talk about him dominant big man. But see, when you historically great, they talk about you as great basketball player, the GOAT. And Shaq is never brought up. When they say Tom Brady, even though he plays quarterback, they say Tom Brady is the greatest football player. Mm-hmm. Ocho, you and I debate. We say Jerry. We say Lawrence Taylor or whomever. But right. Tom Brady, although he played quarterback, Shaq is never brought up in those discussions when it comes to GOAT. He's never in front of Magic. He's never in front of LeBron. He's never in front of Jordan. He's never in front of Kareem. He's never really in front of Russell. When we talk about GOAT.
Wait, so when we talk about the greatest basketball players of all time as far as the GOAT conversation, yeah. Shaq's name is never brought up in that?
Have you ever heard it?
No, because it's normally just Kobe, MJ, and LeBron. That's it.
Kareem.
No, I never heard of Kareem.
Mm-hmm. Injuries robbed him because he didn't control his weight. He didn't train like he was supposed to. And you see what happens. Shaq's supposed to be in the GOAT conversation. Shaq's supposed to have 30,000 points. Shaq's supposed to be a top 5 rebounder. And while y'all bull jiving, a guy that gets left out is Tim Duncan. Shaq. I know for a fact, if Shaq would have had, let's just say, if he'd had my work ethic, he'd have had 40,000 points. Mm-hmm. But let's just say he had a better work ethic and his diet. What do you think? Gil, what do you think he could have done with a little better work ethic and cleaned up his diet?
Now, people as I always say, I ain't gonna hold you. You dig what I'm saying? But bro, listen, man, listen. Let's just qualify something first and foremost. Shaquille O'Neal is regarded as the most dominant big man to ever play the game. The Bill Russells of the world, the Wilt Chamberlains of the world, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars of the world, the Tim Duncans of the world, in terms of what they accomplished, individual achievements or team-wise, you could pick some of those guys that did more. When you're talking about big man to big man, none of them dudes fucking with Shaq. Shaq destroying every one of them. Him and Tim Duncan played at the same time. The reason that Tim Duncan maybe doesn't get the accolades and the shine he does is because he played when Shaq played. The same how the Michael Jordan effect on all the guys out of his era. Because, yeah, he was good, but when you talk about big men of that era, nigga, Shaq was, man, to watch Shaq play, bro, is almost, I ain't gonna hold you, it's almost like in the big man conversation, Shaq is the Jordan of big men. Shaq can take that one and go coast to coast. You dig? Coast to coast, what am I saying? Coast to coast. Jokic does too, but he doesn't do it with as much flair, with as much fluidity. You dig what I'm saying? Shaq was an absolute beast. That is factual, actual. So, you say what you will about what he actually accomplished, but once you step into the territory of saying that you know why, hey, be quiet. That you know why he didn't achieve such and such, and that you take someone else's opinion of his work ethic or what they, like I'm telling you, man, don't never tell me what a motherfucker told you, pimp. Because I'm liable to ask you, nigga, why they tell you? What was you saying when they told you? So when somebody said bruh had a low work ethic. As defined by who? Hey, be quiet! As defined by who? Kobe and Shaq, Kobe rest his soul. We don't want to talk too much and too tough about Kobe. But Kobe's opinion on Shaq isn't the penultimate. Kobe has some nice accolades in his career, but nothing about Kobe or what he did on the court, I feel, doesn't give him the onus to define another guy like Shaq and his work ethic. Now, if you was talking about some little Andrew Bynums or somebody like that, then yeah, he could critique them because they didn't do shit in the league. But for somebody that did what Shaq did, you can't take somebody else's opinion of how he worked. Then he say he heard Shaq say himself that he didn't eat the way that he should have and didn't take care of his body right. Yeah, he may have said that, but you don't get to turn around and then say, hey, this is why you didn't do such and such. You don't know that. You don't know that if he would have ate right, that he still wouldn't have been injured. You don't know that him taking care of his body more would have led to any more MVPs. Are you saying that the reason that he didn't win MVPs in a particular year is because he was out of shape? I don't remember hearing that about Shaq in any year when he was competitive. Later on in his career, sure. But time is undefeated. So, Shannon getting into this gossiping shit, bro, where he feels like he's got a relevant opinion on everything. And, I don't know how much he played basketball or how much he knows about it, but he speaks as a basketball aficionado on it. He says things like Shaq isn't involved in the GOAT conversation. Like, what? That's why, he must not know anything about basketball. Then he say the execs, when they sitting around, nigga, how the fuck you know what the execs saying when they sitting around? You sit around all the basketball execs and talk about basketball. But he says all the execs sit around, they say Jordan, they say Kobe, then they say Jabbar. Nigga, I have never in the entirety of my life heard Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the top 3 of the GOAT conversation. To be honest, is Jordan, and then I think it's like a Kobe LeBron mixture at 2 or 3, A, B, whatever you want to put them. I've never heard anybody. And bro, when we're talking about in balling, that little sky hook, cool. But man, you're not going, in today's NBA, somebody going to get that shit. Somebody going to foul you hard. And with the body type that Shaq had, man, Shaq is destroying every one of those guys. Then he went on to say, if he had my work ethic, he would have 40,000 points. How do you know that? If that's the case, if you had this tremendous work ethic, why aren't you higher ranked? And I hate to have to get on Unc like this, but when you open your mouth and say something in a non-safe zone that I offer, I gotta get on you, bro. So why didn't your tremendous work ethic prepare you to be, a top 10? Why didn't it prepare you to be a better tight end than these guys that you say are better tight ends than him? I don't hear anybody saying who was a better center than Shaq. You just saying he didn't win but won MVP, which is the only knock you can have on him. He won plenty of championships and just dominant. You dig what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Unc is starting to venture into too much territory. You dig what I'm saying? But I'll let Shaq defend himself. He's very capable of defending himself. Man is over 7 feet tall and a whole bunch of pounds and things. And so let's see what Shaq had to say about things. You took me sticking up for Shy as jealousy? Shows how smart you are and how you say anything to get clicks. So here's some clickbait for you. If you ain't ranked in the top 10 in your profession, then you can't speak on me. Don't forget I know what you did to get where you at. Me jealous? LOL, sounds like you jealous. I know you're trying to stay relevant by gossiping on your podcast. We don't believe you. You need more people. And in case you forgot, 4 rings, 3 finals MVP, top 50 and top 75. Google me. And to be quite frank, all this new success you got, you still under me. You don't know my work ethic, but according to you, I work less than you, but I'm worth more than you. Make it make sense. Love you too. If you need help making money, it's better ways than gossiping. I'm too old for this shit. Love always, the most dominant big man ever who never took it serious. Remember, I don't know you. And in the words of Skip Bayless, I'm better than you. G14 classification, I have it. You don't. Not in my profession. And your GOAT debate, never wanted to be the GOAT. I wanted to be who you should greet me as. The most dominant ever. Hashtag the Apex Predator.
Shaq hates every big man. If you haven't noticed, he does. He doesn't like the big man, rightfully so, because that's his position. He is, in his mind, he is the apex predator. No matter what no one says, we don't care. He don't care what you say. He don't care. You can throw all the championships and all that. If we lace him up, and we had to, in our prime, had to play against each other in our prime, he thinks he's the apex predator. Those awards hurt him. They irritate the hell out of him. Yes, it's the MVPs, Gil. It's the MVPs because they only have one.
They didn't think that I would win, but I won.
You think you can say something about the D's? You ain't gonna say something back?
I got in.
You gotta have G14 classification.
I'm the best in the world.
I'm number 1.
I'm the best in the world.
I'm number 1.
I'm the best in the world. Number.
Oh no, Shannon Sharpe, man, you're way beneath me. Your whole demeanor is faker than new rapper Beefy. You're soft before you get fly, you rather tweet me. I was in 3 different cars when you was in 3 feet. All I see is dollar signs, they come in 3D. Make it hot, ain't no way around my degree. You are not in my spot, you are like a peewee.
Needless to say, Mr. O'Neal did not like what he heard. You dig what I'm saying? And I can't blame him, man. Shannon was out of line with that whole little deal. You want to have a financial conversation? Shaq like a billionaire, right? We've already spoke on tremendous career. I said, as Shaq echoed, you don't know, as I echoed Shaq, you don't know his work ethic, man. This man was a pro for many years. You know what I'm saying? That could probably be said by any athlete, by any other athlete, if they happen to be in the training facility of the day, that this one wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But if you weren't better than me, then obviously you can't speak on my work ethic. You weren't as good as me. I done gave away more game than you ever had. Type of situation. You understand what I'm saying? Let's think about this. Let's take something like the rap game. Lil Skies can't tell a Kendrick Lamar that he got lazy raps. You dig what I'm saying? It's like if you can't write a rap better than me, then you don't know what my lazy is. We're not on the same level. You dig what I'm saying? Maybe that was a bad analogy. Did it come out right? Like he can't, but I don't know if the last part I said really fits what I'm trying to say. But if you're not on my level, it's gonna be hard for you to have an opinion on my work. Because what satisfies you and what makes you think that is the ultimate and is great, in my book, isn't. So we've got different levels of satisfaction and different varying degrees of being impressed. You dig what I'm saying? So you can't just really, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I just don't. You know, it's one thing to not like what he said about Jokic and the MVP, but to go all personal, and he gets even more personal. That's why I like Shannon really getting into this, acting like he adhering to what these folks be calling him out here. Like, nigga really getting messy, bro. Like, when we didn't get into his last response, it was like, oh my God. Now, we gonna let Shaq live with the rap. The rap wasn't all that, but we gonna let him live. You dig what I'm saying? The rap game, you have to stay practicing that a lot. And Shaq is a busy guy. So we gonna let him live about that. But got his ass eaten. He eat you dig what I'm saying? Nothing he could say he could really come back from. But of course he tried again on Nightcap, again with Mr. Ocho. And let's see what they had to say, people.
Wait, Shaq in the chat?
No, he on IG. I've never professed that I was as great as Shaq. Mm-hmm. But what I will say,
yes, sir,
I got what I got because I worked my ass off. Now, yes, Shaq has been the one to say it. That he didn't work as hard, he didn't train as hard, he didn't eat as well as he should have.
Right.
Shaq is the one that anytime someone wins an MVP, he talks about how he should have been the MVP over Steve Nash. Now, you guys have heard me speak glowingly. I say Travis Kelce's better tight end than I was. So was Gronk. So was my guy, what's his name? For the Chargers. Antonio Gates, Gonzo, Big Winslow. I'm cool. I got no problem. You know why I got no problem, Ocho, with giving people credit?
Right.
Because I got everything out of my God-given ability. God gave me the ability to do what I could do. But he gave me discipline. He gave me dedication, the way I trained, the way I ate, the way I slept. So this was all I could get.
Right.
Now, I would have felt some type of way if I'd have got these numbers and I half-assed it. But I never half-assed it. Kobe said Shaq should have won, and they should have won.
Right.
But my thing is that you can't, and it said greatest characters. It's Shaq, I'm the greatest character. No, am I a top 100 player? No. Am I the equivalent as a football player as Shaq was as a basketball player? No. But what I did do is that I maximized that.
See, I'm mad, man. I wish I understood.
Why you mad?
Because I wish I understood goddamn basketball. So when you talking about Shaq, especially during that time, think about this. If I don't know basketball now the way I should, the way you do, like what you telling me right now, it's like I'm trying to process the shit.
Think about it.
But I can't because I wasn't watching back then.
Think about it, Ocho. He's the most dominant big man in the history of the game.
I know that much, yes.
And he got one MVP.
Now, pretty standard, you know, I never attacked personally this, that, and the third, but he just pretty much still stuck on, you know, what he feels like his worth ethic was and this, that, and the third. And it's just still a bad argument, man. Shaq thoroughly got at him, you know what I'm saying? He's on the defensive about it, but I guess he's pivoted at this moment. I think he had an interview with somebody else I saw maybe in the last day or two. But yeah, it was a bad look, man, and especially when you look at this last piece of reply right here. Now, this is when it just got, my gosh, Shannon, like, what are you doing, bro? Shannon says, I love you, Shaq, but damn, you need to get some thicker skin. Don't take offense to everything, then just say stuff like 4 rings. That's an argument of a 10-year-old. No wonder Phil talked about how much he had to accommodate you and your feelings. With that being said, you're a generational winner. Whiner. This man-child needs therapy. You don't see any of his big man counterparts belittling previous and future generations. Just stop with this insecure bullying, small dick energy. It's fucking embarrassing for a 50-year-old man. Don't forget you told me you're still illiterate and you can't last more than 30 seconds in the bedroom. That's why your ex-wife wasn't in love with you. You know, I appreciate that Shannon brought up Slimy Shawnee. You know, Shaq's ex-wife was in the news here a couple days ago where she went on, I don't know, Tamron Hall or something. She's promoting a book she just wrote. And she goes on to say that she was, over the whole course of the relationship, even though she got, 4 kids by Shaq, she's married to a preacher now. You know how they love to go, man, these motherfuckers go fake out here. Love to go marry him a preacher or some old holy type shit to make they little slime ass look successful in the word of the Lord. Face ass. So, she goes on to say that she was never really in love with Shaq through all these years and all this money and that he done spent it lavish and changed my life. He adopted her kid from a previous relationship. He bitch that shit. Anyway, but I'm glad he brought her up. Because both of them missed it. So did you hear, I mean, listen now, did y'all hear me read that out? Shannon goes into what Phil Jackson said. I told you, nigga, don't tell me what another motherfucker told you, man. Shannon Sharpe, don't tell me what somebody told you about me, man. What Phil Jackson said. This man said his man-child need therapy. You're the professional whiner. This nigga went on to say, what is small dick energy? Like, tell me what's the last dude. Tell me the last dude, straight dude, that you've heard used, and I'm saying it now for purposes of this content. What's the last straight guy you've heard use the term, analogy, small dick energy? Nigga, never, nobody, not none, no how. That's girl talk, Shannon. Women talk like that. Like thought women. Like hurt thought women or something. Are you a hurt thought, Shannon? What is going on, bro? He said small dick. You don't even listen. When you're referencing another guy, it's not really ever valid for you to mention the word dick when you're talking about another guy and nothing associated with it. This is like unspoken man code. Oh my God, Shannon. Oh my God. So, that's where we are with this thing so far, man. I'm sure Mr. Shaquille O'Neal is going to have some choice comments. I saw a tweet on his page. He said something about something he called himself. He said he'll respond to it when he wakes up. And after he makes this last and final response, he won't entertain it again. And I can't really blame Shaq. Now, I will say out of basketball players, when you watch them, folks like Gil Arena, I watch Gil a lot, and these niggas have a way. But I guess as being a professional athlete and the accolades you get, and man, motherfuckers just be on your jock from the jump. So you can't really help but to be an asshole, self-involved. You understand? You think you're done, you're taller than everybody and all that type of shit. So they have a way of bringing everything back to them. Like, you can watch Gil's Arena. It don't matter what player we're talking about, what situation we have, and Gil's going to say, yeah, I remember when I was back in Washington. I had dropped 47, right? And then, he's always got a way of bringing it back to one of his performances. And so, Shaq does that when he's talking about big men. And it's like, I don't know, I kind of let him live. It's a little irritating, but it's like these niggas play professional basketball, bro. Like, that is a tremendous feat. I've spoken before the way I feel like had I stayed on it, I think I could have made some inroads in that mode of life. But I didn't and whatever. But so the people that did, man, unless you've been, and Shannon's been a professional athlete, so he knows the dedication it takes. But I think he should also understand that, life happens, and injuries and teammates and situations and coaches, like, it's just all a mixing pot, bro. You know what I'm saying? So for him to have that take on Shaq, man, and I ain't never really heard nobody get on Shaq in his career like that other than Kobe. You know what I'm saying? So for Shannon to pick that mantle up and jump off the bridge with it, like, that was completely out of place. So we're going to look forward to see what Shaq has got to say, man. And If it's something interesting, then I'll make a follow-up. If not, we'll move on to the next topic, which the next topic is, I don't know. Let me not say, because I may decide to do something different. But at any rate, this has been That Way with Jack Travis, man. I'll get at y'all later. Loud.